He's sounding like Chebukati.
Excuse me, Chair.
I can actually see his face, Chair.
Yeah. Chair, for me, this is what is wrong with our systems. This is wrong. This is the reason why devolution is dying. You ain't brave enough not to do your job. You ain't brave enough to stand up to the stealing that goes on. All right? The governor was not there. You guys were the custodians. Sasa umebeba mkia. That is where we are. And we are not going to fall back on these issues. Because you can't bring documents here which mean nothing to us. And then you assume all of us are dunderheads. We know nothing, we see nothing. Who are you protecting?
Apart from this, can you recall this document that does not have registration number? And I know, Governor, you are aware about the engine capacity. Because we don't want people driving LX600 masquerading as a county government of Nairobi, and you know very well, it will not be prudent use of resources. So the question is he able to display the registration number through the chair and also the engine capacity? You remember during Uhuru's time, he had brought was it a 1300 cc?
Yeah.
But it will not be, even if it is not in law,
there's no law that limits the vehicles accountable.
I don't know why governor is,
but you know,
I don't know why governor is defensive.
Regulations are also subsidiary legislation.
Correct.
So if it's captured in regulation or in circulars by bodies that are constitutionally mandated to provide those guidelines, then they form part.
Of it.
But that's not that's not the argument. I don't want you to just.
The point I'm trying to make, Governor, is.
Yeah. So he's talking about.
I'm not talking about this. I don't know his private vehicle, so why would I discuss?
It's the one you said.
No. LX600. I was just an example.
And that's why we want the registration number. Yes. So that we can check whether that particular one is being fueled using county
cards. Chair should declare interest. The governor has said he has given him a lift in that very same vehicle.
No.
Where did
I've never boarded any governor's vehicles.
It's the same one.
I don't know. I don't know his vehicles. I can't really remember because he's a man of means. So I can't really remember which one.
These documentations were not availed to us, and therefore we will leave this matter to the committee for further guidance.
So this looks like theft of 75.9 million under the guise of medical supplies, and we shall be asking the EFCC to be with us on this so that this money is recovered. Dr. Munywa?
Allow me to explain this. It is not upon the committee to declare a loss. Financial loss is supposed to be declared by the user department, the county government in this case, so that they are themselves who are supposed to initiate recovery of that money and declaration of loss, so that if they cannot be able to recover the costs entirely, PFM is very clear. They should look for the person who occasioned it through the security agencies.
I agree with you, Dr. We shall direct the county executive to take measures to recover the lost funds. I think that's how we should frame it. It is a county executive to take measures for recovery. The same way we say it for the NHIF insurance payment. It is upon them to initiate. I think I don't want us to go into the next issue is misallocation of expenditure and reconciled bank balances, outstanding interest, account payables, deposits and retentions. May I ask, Governor, whether the signatory to these financial statements, Martha Wambugo, is still in the county executive?
Yes, Chair.
Is Martha present?
No, not only is she still in the executive, she's right behind me.
Martha Wambugo, you are a member of ISPAC. Just give her the microphone.
Yes, Chair. I'm a member of ISPAC.
For how many years have your financial statements attracted an adverse opinion?
For the last, since the county government started,
Have you been signing the financial statements during that duration?
for a period of 2 years,
For the 3 years, what has been your score?
adverse and disclaimer.
So would you sit proudly before the Senate with that kind of verdict?
No, Chairman, we are not proud of that, but we are working towards getting a favorable opinion from our
You
auditors.
have a professional responsibility.
Yes,
A
Chair.
professional responsibility that is personal. It is not about who was governor then. It is not about who was CC then. You, as a member of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants, member number 5435, you have signed financial statements for 3 consecutive financial years, which have either been disclaimed or been rendered to be adverse. Why do you think you should be trusted to manage public resources?
Thank you, Chair. As a member of the Institute and with my team members, we've been doing our best to provide financial statements as required. But given the circumstances, some of the issues have not been supported. So the auditors have come up with that opinion due to unsupported transactions. But in the preparation of the accounts, we have done our best.
When you sign off the financial statements and you have numbers in that financial statement, where do the numbers come from? Aren't they supposed to come from supporting schedules and payment details?
Thank you, Chair. They do. They come from IFMIS, they come from the sectors. But at the point the auditor comes to verify these things, some of these things are not provided by the sectors. That is the main problem.
So why would
Chair.
you report something that is not supported?
We report as per the transactions recorded in our books, in our IFMIS system. But the actual documentation, sometimes to support these transactions, is not availed to the auditors.
Whose responsibility is it to avail them?
It is the responsibility of Finance and County Treasury to avail them from the sectors. So the sector accountants and the chief officers of the sectors, we are tasked with compiling the reports. So we require the sectors to support us, to give us the documentation.
Why are you required to sign these financial statements?
Thank you, Chair. As a member of the Institute, as a qualified accountant, that is why I signed these financial statements and also
what does
as a
your
holder of
signature
that
mean?
office.
What does your signature mean on these financial statements?
Yes, Chair.
So I want you to say it. What does your signature mean?
We take responsibility.
So you can't tell
for
us
these
about sector
financial
accountants.
statements.
You can't tell us about other people. It is you as a professional who must take responsibility. And if you do not agree with the numbers they're giving you, you do not sign. Because as a professional, you cannot sign something that is not accurate. Why should we not refer you to the Institute for Disciplinary Action alongside the others who have gotten adverse opinions?
Thank you, Chair. As I said before, as a sector, as the finance sector and the county treasury, we compile the figures from sectors, from the state, from the IFMIS and our vote books. Then we demand the supporting schedules from the sectors. And the best we get is what we prepare for the auditors to look at.
You are accounting like IEBC,
Yeah.
where Chebukati signs things at Bomas, then he says, go and blame the returning officer in the county. That's a sham we have seen in our elections. We cannot accept that from professionals.
Can I ask, Chair? You spoke of circumstances. Which years have you signed?
2021 and 2022.
What circumstances were prevailing at that time that would make you sign documents that would put you in problems with my chair?
When we prepare these financial statements, Chair, we prepare them with the best information we have received from sectors. As County Treasury, we compile the statements from all sectors.
So if every department brings you documents that you can
Yes.
clearly see forgeries, they don't make sense, what is your responsibility as the person who signs off on those accounts?
Thank you, Chair. Our responsibility is to confirm the information we get from sectors. And what we have confirmed is what we put on the financial statements
So everything there you have confirmed.
from the sectors, yes.
It sounded like Chabukati.
Excuse me,
I
Chair.
can actually see his face, Chair.
Yeah. Chair,
Sir.
for me, this is what is wrong with our systems. This is wrong. This is the reason why devolution is dying. You ain't brave enough not to do your job. You ain't brave enough to stand up to the stealing that goes on. All right? The governor was not there. You guys were the custodians. Sasa umebeba mkia. That is where we are. And we are not going to fall back on these issues. Because you can't bring documents here which mean nothing to us. And then you assume all of us are dunderheads. We know nothing, we see nothing. Who are you protecting? This is where we are. We are really feeling frustrated. And yet you look like you know what you're doing. You sound like you are well schooled. Imagine, I just feel like you throw away the water with the baby.
Senator Cherarkei.
Maybe Auditor General, you have finished 22, 23. How does it look like through the chair? 22, 23?
What was your opinion?
Chair, the opinion is adverse.
Again.
And again, it's the gracious lady who signed the financial statements.
No, Chair.
Who signed this time round? Governor, you may want to tell us who signed the financial statements for 22-23?
Joseph Gadiaka.
We are going to crack very hard on professionals who have the responsibility of doing the right thing. And they don't do the right thing and they assume it's business as usual.
Yeah,
You have seen what has happened in your county assembly, and we are seeing the same kind of situation in the county executive. And again, Governor, it does not have to take the Senate to talk to your staff. I mean, you should shield them by making sure that you take administrative action or training, so that when you come here, you are telling us, you know, we had some problems, but I've already asked the Treasury to train my people, and so there's going to be an improvement.
Chair,
But we are not going to allow them to hide behind the governors. If you've got a professional responsibility, accounting, HR, procurement, we shall come for you directly through your professional body.
Can I?
Chair, it is not finished. Maybe before the governor speaks, Madam Mother Wambugu, you are aware if this was a private sector, this has to have formed the ground for your sacking or firing from the entity. Are you aware when you get adverse? I think it's only in public sector where you are rewarded. Are you aware of the implication of adverse opinion?
I am, Senator.
Yeah?
I am aware, Senator.
Okay.
Chair.
Governor, what,
Yeah, thank you.
what are you doing, internally? You've had disclaimers since the onset of devolution, and then it has gone to adverse opinions, and your first year in office, it's still an adverse opinion. What are you doing?
Chair.
What's the conversation on capacity?
Chair, thank you. Thank you. Chair, this is why I am the governor of Nairobi now. From 2013 to 2018, 13-14 financial year, 14-15, 15-16, 16-17, 17-18, and 18-19, Nairobi County got disclaimer, opinion. Yeah? That, it was just terrible, completely. And you remember this is coming from the council, then the first county government. So 13-14 to 18-19 was disclaimer. From 1920 up until now, it has been adverse. The things were, and that is why we took the bull by the horns to go for this position, you know, to say, okay, look, what is the systemic problem? For you to have an adverse opinion, there are many things that are carried forward over the years. The story on pending bills will always be in every audit report. You know, there are things that are carried along that you need to find closure with the Office of the Auditor General for it to move. In fact, it is in this time that Nairobi has gotten its first ever qualified opinion on anything. That is the liquor, the alcoholic drinks, the liquor board. The report for 2023 is qualified. Chair, those are the improvements that we are making in the city. You can't imagine that would have come in after 6 years of disclaimer and then adverse, that I would just come and wave a magic wand and suddenly it becomes qualified. The improvements we're making, for instance, I've told you about the if misusers that we were having. I've told you about e-procurement, you know, the using the revenue reporting modules that are on IFMIS, modules that have never been used. If you have time, we can take you through exactly what we are doing to improve, to make sure now the next financial year becomes better. Of course, the first one, when you get in, you find it's the same people doing the same things, carrying on the same issues. Those changes are made as you progress. The chief officer, for instance, became chief officer in February of 2002-2003 financial year. You know, there was a chief officer before that. There was an entire structure before that. We've been doing trainings. We're talking to these professionals. We're paying for them the continuous professional development. So I think in a matter of time, you know, because it is one thing to really want it to change immediately, but the practicality of it, the magnitude of issues that we deal with in the county, you know, and I would even allow my chief officer to speak about some of the improvements we're making. It takes more than 19 months, Chair. And I'm sure even the next audit will start looking better. If we already moved qualified, by the time we're done, we will have an unqualified report, Chair, possibly even in the next 2 financial years. I'm the one who proposed, Chair, as something that also the Auditor General took up, yeah, the reporting matrix on implementation of audit requirements. And they took it up and said, look, this is a template that they want to actually have counties developing. Because the reason for audit is to improve systems. The reason for audit is to see where there are loopholes that could be used by those with, you know, bad intentions, and how you close those audits, whether it's a system audit, the financial audit. And that is why I said that matrix for implementation of audit proposals needs to be filled in internally by ourselves. Before I came in, Chair, even the internal audit committee was not there. I was able to constitute it. I was able to resource the Office of Internal Audit. They were not being listened to. In fact, many of them, when they came to my office, they said, it is their first time to enter that office. These are people who've been there from the time they were mayors. They've been there. They've never seen the office of a mayor or a governor. But these people I'm working with every single day. So it's a process. I can see the progress. It might take a while to catch up in terms of the reporting, but the Office of the Auditor General can confirm to you that there are serious improvements in a lot of these issues. And maybe that's why many people in different quarters are not happy. When you remove all those users, when you remove the people of Hiyo who are used to getting 150 million or some of these payments, we're saying are clearly unsupported to facilities we clearly don't know, they will not be happy with that, Chair. But we must do the right thing. And my team knows, and the professionals,
yes,
that I'm not carrying anyone's cross. Everyone will carry their own cross.
Thank you.
Your professional responsibility. Don't think that because the governor can explain his issues that you'll hide behind him. The other day I was, I think, at Osoti's committee when we were looking at this report on alcoholic drinks licensing. And I said, look, even if it means calling whoever was there then, who was protecting someone at that time, they must answer to it. And I've told them you should never be told to do the wrong thing by anyone, even invoking the name of the governor. So that progress, you know, if we were to get a session to look at implementation of audit proposals, how do you close an issue? An issue is unresolved. You've said, yes, it's unresolved. I've agreed it's unresolved. How do we close that issue? How do we, you know, bring closure to it so that we improve that system? You know, that is what then benefits.
Let me stop you there,
and
Governor.
helps a county chair.
With this
Apart from this, can you recall this document that does not have registration number? And I know, Governor, you are aware about the engine capacity, because we don't want people driving LX600 masquerading as a county government of Nairobi, and you know very well, it will not be prudent use of resources. So the question is he able to display the registration number through the chair and
law?
also the engine capacity? You remember during Uhuru's time, he had brought was it a 1300 cc?
Yeah.
But it will not be, even if it is not in law.
There's no law that limits the vehicles accountable.
I don't know why governor is,
but you know,
I don't know why governor is defensive.
Regulations are also subsidiary legislation.
Correct.
So if it's captured in regulation or in circulars by bodies that are constitutionally mandated to provide those guidelines, then they form part
of it.
But that's not that's not the argument. I don't want you to just.
The point I'm trying to make, Governor, is.
Yeah. So he's talking about.
I'm not talking about this. I don't know his private vehicle, so why would I discuss?
It's the one you said.
No. Like 600. I was just an example.
And that's why we want the registration number. Yes. So that we can check whether that particular one is being fueled using county cards.
Chair should declare interest. The governor has said he has given him a lift in that very same vehicle.
No.
Where did
I've never boarded any governor's vehicles.
It's the same one.
I don't know. I don't know his vehicles. I can't really remember because he's a man of means. So I can't really remember which one. The point I'm trying to make, and I think Governor, you need to assist us on this. Is the prudent use. I was saying, imagining that your county government is driving a 6,000 cc vehicle, which we should drive less so that you consume less fuel. That is my argument. Because at the end of the day,
I don't about fuel or about
order, Governor. Yeah. Order. If you need a break for the sugar levels, you ask for it because I'm seeing they are going down. But as you are still alert.
So my point only, I wanted to make
Chair, point of order, Chair.
Let's allow
to conclude. Through the Chief Officer of Mobility, are there among 550 vehicles you have, are there any that are leased? Number two, could you be able to display, apart from registration number, display the engine capacity for accountability purposes so that it becomes easy to account?
Senator Mariam Omar.
Chair, mine is also partly the same. I wanted to ask if Governor, currently, how do you do your asset, your fuel register? Because if there is lacking, because this one there is a problem of registration, is it the same continue?
Senator Onyonka, no, Senator Mofa.
You know, Chair, we in this arrangement you are interrogating history. So we want to know from the CEO now in the current situation, do we have that kind of confusion? The current.
I think we have asked the same things in different language, in different words. Governor, we want to understand the current arrangement, whether the controls have been tightened or the situation is as flagged by the Auditor General.
Chair, perhaps before it does. Governor, if you see everything that is in place in Nairobi is very deliberate. If you go to the next annexure, which is a list of insurance of your vehicles, you will see that all the information we are looking for on the fuel side is included in this report. Because you will see registration number of a vehicle, the make, the model, the type, the year of manufacture, everything is captured there. So why it was not done the same, even the value, why it was not done the same for fuel is the cause of concern. So perhaps when you respond as to what you've done now, speak to the deliberate nature of the omission of some of those information during that time.
Okay, let's allow them to respond. I think we have canvassed enough.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. I will start with the first question on whether we have any leased vehicles. I can confirm currently we do not have any leased vehicles. What we are using is county vehicles. Number two, Honorable Senator asked what is the criteria that we use while issuing these cards. What we have done is that we have given per sectors, especially for the sectors that have a lot of fleet. For example, mobility and works, they have a card. For example, health, it has a card. And then the reason as to why they increased is when we came into office through the governor, we introduced cards for CCs and chief officers. So for the vehicles that are used by CCs and chief officers, they have specific cards for those vehicles. Moving forward, a senator asked what is the current situation. We have improved on the situation. The records that we have for this year and this administration, we have the registration, the model, the price, the liters, and the receipt number. And to add on the improvement that we are still doing, we are in the process of having a containerized fuel station for the county. We have organized with our supplier such that when we get that containerized fuel, each vehicle, and I'm talking about each vehicle, will have a dummy card, because there will be no need to load that card with credit, because we will have our own fuel. But the purpose of that dummy card is to ensure you can know with precision the amount of fuel that has been consumed by that vehicle and whether it's diesel or petrol.
Auditor General, we request you to keep this in view so that you can report back on whether there are sufficient controls to prevent misuse. But we agree with the Auditor General that there have been weaknesses in,
Yes.
in fuel management. I think that should allow us to move on.
Chair, can I?
Senator Onyonka, it is 4:09 p.m.
Just 1 second.
Yes.
I wanted to, having a sore throat, I just wanted to raise the issue with the mobility manager and the governor, that even whether you're going to do the containerized fueling system within the county government, if you don't have a GPS system, you don't have a report that is given from whoever that is assigning your driver to go and work somewhere, and you understand, Governor, that this technology would be giving you the mileage and the distances and where your vehicles are working, I think you understand where I am. And I hope that you may possibly think about adopting such a system.
Governor, let that not generate a debate. Let's proceed to
Chair.
issue number 2.5.
Chair, I had asked him to answer, then I conclude.
No, we have already given directives.
Okay, kindly, Chair. Just allow me to.
No, I will direct that we move to the next issue. It is
But, Chair,
4:10 p.m.
Just 1 minute for my response.
Order, Governor. It is for your benefit that we are proceeding. Otherwise, if it gets to 5 o'clock, we shall adjourn and you'll come back here tomorrow.
Chair, just allow me to 1 minute.
I'll give you 30 seconds.
Only, surely, Chair.
Proceed.
The reason we come here is to answer. Allow us to answer the questions, the audit questions.
Yes, but we also have our
The fuel
timelines.
management system that we are now implementing, that is at award stage, includes GPS, includes a fuel station, a petrol station, physical, at our central garage, where we'll be getting fuel below commercial rate. That is the negotiation we got into. And we can be able to tell, even if fuel is siphoned, immediately an alert will come out from that vehicle. So it's going to be a fuel management system on each and every tank of the vehicles for the county.
Fine.
That is the process we're in.
Auditor General, you'll confirm whether the tumepanga na tumetenga is true in your next cycle of audit.
Well noted, Chair.
Distribution of goods.
No, you should wish well the governor. Yeah. You should wish well to the governor.
I know what wakes Cherarkei up. 2.5 on distribution of goods. We take note of the Auditor General's finding